Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this guide for Herta, I'll cover her best relics, light cones, team composition, rotations, pros and cons, and whether she's worth pulling. Sit back and relax, and if you find this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.
Do you have a character or light cone in the game that you really want, but you don't have enough StellarJades? Fortunately, lootbar.gg allows you to buy StellarJades at a discounted rate for all regions. Lootbar is one of the fastest and most reliable recharging platform with attractive discount rates. For an example, I will buy the 1980 StellarJade package for $26.40, which otherwise would have cost me $29.99, saving me a total of 20%, and also new users get an additional 5% off. To purchase, simply enter your UID and region and to receive your package in less than 30 minutes. All recharges are done through the official channel with miHoYo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Now you will be ready to get your favorite characters. Check the link in the description and pinned comment to get the amazing discounts.
For an overview, Herta has the ice element and follows the path of erudition. She's a main DPS dealer and sub-buffer for erudition units, and I won't be going through how she works as there's just too much to cover. For Eidolons, you don't really need them or her light cone even though they're pretty decent unless you really like her. If you want a whale, I would recommend pulling for Jade first, especially or Huahua. Overall, her E1 will do higher DPS output slightly, but her signature light cone is a little more consistent. Building Herta: body, crit rate or crit damage. Though crit rate is more likely as she doesn't have crit rate boost. Boots, speed only. Now for the stats. Here are the speed breakpoints. If you have Jade, you only need to go for 134 speed. Aim for 80% plus crit rate and as much crit damage and attack percent lastly. Overall, 134 or 146 speed is best due to pure fiction and longer MOC runs. Personally, I feel that 134 is the better speed breakpoint as she does prefer more offensive stats. Relic Set. The only two sets you should go for are either Scholar or Glacial Forest. Scholar is a few percentage points better, more consistent and easier to build, plus it's more universal. I recommend players start farming Scholar. But if you have at least double S tier stats on Glacial Forest, you don't have to refarm. Planar Ornament. Rope, attack percent. Orb, ice damage boost. These are the planar sets that you can run. Overall, for players who haven't started farming, I recommend players to farm for Izumo. Rudal and Arena DPS isn't that far apart, but it's less universal and having more crit rate is better. Sigonia isn't really recommended, but if you have way better stats on it, it's pretty solid, since it's in the same world as Izumo. Moving on to her light cones. Last place, Breakfast and Eternal S5 are really good options. Overall, nothing much to talk about, though Eternal is ideal for pure fiction. It will perform slightly worse if you're facing fewer enemies where Genius and Breakfast would perform better. Second place, we have Genius Repose, Battle Pass S5, and Milky Way S1. They all have similar DPS output. Genius's only downside is when you're facing single target enemies where if you don't kill enemies this light cone can underperform. Herta is able to get the max buff from the Battle Pass LC without any drawbacks. Milky Way DPS can perform slightly weaker than Genius or slightly better compared to the Battle Pass LC depending on the number of enemies and breaks. First place, Herta's signature LC provides 12% crit rate. Whenever she uses her ultimate, it increases damage dealt by skill and ultimate by 60%, lasting 3 turns, and whenever the wearer consumes 140 energy from an ultimate, recover 1 skill point. Well, it isn't a really impressive light cone considering the Battle Pass light cone has a raw 64% damage percentage boost. Here are the DPS calculations. Running Breakfast S5 is totally fine as the DPS gap isn't that huge compared to her signature light cone. Erudition light cones are one of the worst performing light cones compared to other paths. But don't get me wrong, as running her signature LC will allow you to make misplays. For her team composition and rotations, her best would be Sunday plus Jade. You may even run Sunday at 134 speed, with Herta at hyper speed due to Jade's additional 30 speed buff, but just in case of skill point issues, I do recommend 134 speed before Jade's speed boost. Though there could be no cycle clear difference from her second best team. Her second best would be with RMC plus Jade. Overall, nothing much to really talk about. Another best would be Jade and Robin. Overall, a strong contender where there could be no cycle clear difference, or at most one longer cycle compared to RMC, which is pretty interesting that a free unit could perform better than Robin. Third best would be with any Erudition unit plus RMC. For your second DPS unit, you could run them at -1 speed or hyper speed with the Eagle set and Von Whack for even more turns, though not really necessary. Personally, I wouldn't even if it means I could clear an extra cycle faster. You can swap your second Erudition unit according to what enemies you're going to face, but Serval is the best all-rounder regardless of content, as her single target DPS is pretty much almost equal to Himiko's, whereas 4-star Herta barely does any single target damage. For support replacement, well, there aren't really any good support replacements, as she doesn't need any support other than RMC, though you could use Ruan Mei or Pella as a substitute first. Here are the average cycle clear differences for teams. Overall, Jade does offer a massive DPS boost to your team, where she will offer a cycle faster clear compared to any other Erudition unit. Pros and cons. Pros: double S tier, 2-in-1 main DPS plus subbuffer, easy to build, F2P friendly and flexible teammates. RMC is free, does not need a signature Lightcone. The first Erudition unit that's a great all-rounder for all in-game contents. Her animations are gorgeous. Cons: running Jade is still preferred, if not she drops to S tier due to lower team DPS output. May take longer MOC cycle clears compared to meta all-rounder units like Firefly, Rappa, and Acheron when facing non-ice weak plus single target enemies. Should you pull? If you already have Jade? Yes, it's a must. If you really want her even though you don't have Jade, why not? She has a ton of units to work with, and she would still be able to clear all contents. If you don't like her design? No. For her rating, I would rate her 8.5 out of 10 if players have Jade. Why not 10 or a triple S tier rating? Because when facing 2 or fewer enemies, she will take longer cycle clears compared to units like Firefly and Acheron. But you will be able to clear MOC pretty easily still within 5 cycles, even without Huahua. Though without Jade, she kind of falls down to a 7 out of 10. Overall, I do feel that Herta is a very good unit, especially when you could run a full F2P team and clear all contents pretty easily. An insane pick for those who missed out on meta break units and Sunday for Aglaea. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out a ton. And that's it for this guide.